Alright troops, it's your man Chris Scullion from Tyrol Hack here, and today I've got a special video for you. I'm going to show you some footage of Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze running on the Nintendo Switch. This is still in preview stage at this point. The game's not out for until the start of May, 4th of May I believe, 3rd of May in Japan. So at this point I'm not really allowed to kind of go into too much detail, like in case it kind of starts sounding like a review. So the embargo I've got just now from Nintendo is I'm allowed to share 15 minutes of footage, and none of the clips are allowed to be more than 5 minutes in length. So I thought I'd give you kind of 3 levels from the game, each kind of clips underneath 5 minutes in length. So here we go. This is for those not familiar with the game. It originally came out on the Wii U back in 2014. Almost 4 years ago to the date. It's coming out. It came out in February 2014, and now it's getting a Switch release in May 2018. So a little over 4 years later. It's reasonably difficult, as you can see by me playing this quite badly. This is still kind of early on in the game, and I've just made an arse of it by falling onto spikes. But that's okay. That's fine. It gets more difficult later on. It's kind of famous for being a tricky platformer. The big difference here between Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze and its predecessor, Donkey Kong Country Returns on the Wii, is that you can now get people to help you out. As you can see here, you've now got, as well as Diddy Kong, you can now get Dixie Kong and Cranky Kong, who you can see here. Cranky Kong obviously being originally was meant to be the original Donkey Kong, but Nintendo seem to have kind of shied away from that over the years. But yeah, he is. And they've all got their different abilities. So Diddy Kong comes back from the first game, and he's still got his kind of jetpack, so you can float down slower when you're falling. As you can see here, Cranky Kong's got a kind of pogo stick, kind of like Scrooge McDuck in the DuckTales games. And you can use the pogo stick to safely jump on spikes and stuff like that without doing any damage. And this is a level where you first meet Cranky Kong, and they kind of make a big deal out of that by having loads of these spike sections and power-ups sitting on the spikes. That kind of classic Nintendo style of, even though it was Retro that developed it, not Nintendo, but it's that Nintendo kind of style of forcing you to learn the mechanics by pretty much spelling it out for you without blatantly saying it. So it's pretty obvious that there's power-ups right over these spikes, so you're kind of going to need to figure out a way to do it. So use Cranky's pogo stick instead. Dixie Kong has she can spin her hair and give you like a kind of flutter jump, almost like if you were riding on Yoshi in a Yoshi's Island game. It's that kind of thing, like a flutter jump type thing, to give you a wee bit more extra height and let you kind of get past higher gaps and stuff. Now, one of the things about Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, much like its predecessor, is that there's a lot of kind of secrets hidden in it. Each stage has a number of puzzle pieces that you need to kind of collect, and they can be quite well hidden. It's very rare that you'll go through a stage and get all the puzzle pieces in your first go. You're going to have to go through it multiple times, and these will be either kind of cleverly hidden passageways, stuff that kind of looks like it should be a wall but isn't a wall, so loads of kind of hidden walls and stuff like that. You'll also get loads of areas where you've got to slap the ground with your fists like that, but some walls kind of give way when you do that, some floors I should say. And yeah, there's loads of kind of hidden, there's some sections where you'll need to, there's one of the hidden walls there, it takes you to a bonus stage. In bonus stage you get a puzzle piece if you can clear all the bananas before the timer runs out. So yeah, the exploration is one of the kind of the key themes of this game. It isn't just you can play through it just if you want and just get through from start to finish in all the stages if you want, but you've got this extra incentive to explore the stages to get all the puzzle pieces, which is quite cool. That aside, it starts reasonably straightforward and chucks lives at you like confetti at a wedding. So by the end of the first world, I was on like 50 odd lives, 55 lives or something like that, but you kind of need those for later in the game. I messed that bit up. You need those for later in the game because it does get really difficult and you'll start to lose lives quite a lot. There's an example of a hidden kind of exit here where it looks like that's the exit, but then you get another exit to a different alternative stage, which is quite cool. So yeah, there you go, that is the first stage. Coming up to the end of the clip, so let's move on to a different stage to kind of show off the different art styles of the game. It was an amazing looking game, as I'm sure you hopefully can already see, and this is another example of that. I'm not a Digital Foundry style pixel counter, but it seems to me like it runs at 1080p. It's definitely running at 60 and it's solid 99% of the time. You'll get the occasional stutter, but nothing too drastic. But yeah, and there's Diddy with his jetpack. This looks, you can tell right away, this is a stunning looking game. It looks absolutely fantastic. For those who haven't played it before, it'll take a wee while to get used to some of the mechanics, especially the grappling. So there's basically the Y button is your roll, and your slapping the ground type move. Your B button jumps, or your A button, and the X button does the stomp as well. Basically 2 buttons do different things. But then you've got the trigger, the ZL and ZR buttons do this grab. So when you're going past a vine, or if there's kind of vines on the ceiling that you want to grab, you need to press the trigger button to grab them, so that counts as like a grabbing mechanic. So that can take a wee while getting used to sometimes, because other games you would imagine you just kind of jump up to these things and grab them automatically, or hold up. There's a lot of times when you first get used to it that you'll come to a vine, which is like a swinging vine or something, and you hold up as you go over it thinking that'll be enough to grab it, but it isn't. You need to physically press the button to grab things. Once you get the hang of that, it's quite good. It's quite satisfying, kind of reaching out and grabbing stuff, and it makes for more kind of interesting puzzles later when you're swinging down a number of vines and you're letting go to kind of drop down to the next one and jumping up to grab the next one. It can lead to more kind of interesting puzzles. But yeah, it's quite cool. That aside, it's those who've played the original. I say the original, it was still a sequel, but those who played the Wii U version will kind of know what to expect here, because for the most part the standard mode is very similar. I think there's a few maybe wee extras at the end, but I've not got that far yet, and even if I was, I wouldn't be allowed to talk about them at this point in this embargoed stage, so you'll need to kind of wait for the review before I can talk about any of that. But for the most part, it's very similar to the Wii U version. Just looks a wee bit nicer, runs a wee bit smoother, although it was kind of almost spot on back then. But yeah, played it portable. Portable mode is fantastic. Spent a few nights last night playing it. This is, as you can tell, this is still really early in the game. I've only had it a day or so, hence the preview phase. So I'm just kind of getting back to getting the feel for it again, because it's been a number of years since I played the Wii U one. But yeah, in portable it looks fantastic. Obviously the resolution drops, but it drops to, again, it looks kind of native 720. It doesn't look like any compromises would be made, but again, I'm no expert in that field. You need to wait for Digital Foundry to tear it apart and count the pixels before we know for sure. But all I know is that by playing it, I'm really happy with how it looks. In handheld, and I'll probably play most of the game like that, to be honest, because having already played through the Wii U version, I've messed that up. Having already played through the Wii U version on my TV, it would be nice to kind of play a handheld one, especially considering they brought out Donkey Kong Country Returns on 3DS, and it looked really nice, but the difference, I mean, you'll know this already, but the difference going from 3DS to Switch, playing a handheld, is night and day. It's easily by far one of the most beautiful looking platformers you'll ever have seen on a handheld device. This kind of goes without saying that it's between that and Rayman. But I kind of personally prefer this. I don't know why. It just looks fantastic. But yeah, so that's it so far. They'll finish the rest of this level, and then I'll show you the biggest new change, because for the most part, like I say, the main mode is as it is. You're completing the stages, collecting your various Kongs, using their powers, and kind of at this point stockpiling lives, so that when you start dying a million times later on in the game, you've got enough to keep you going. But as you'll soon see, there's a now an easier mode designed for people who might think this is maybe a wee bit too much. And at this stage, I appreciate it doesn't look too difficult, but yeah, later on in the game it gets fairly hardcore. So let's just finish this bit off. Clean down here. Get my wee puzzle piece. Get that. It's just a fantastic looking game as well. It was fantastic on the Wii U. Not a lot has changed. It's not like this is a full remaster, but it still looks fantastic. So anyway, yes, that's the kind of the main mode, which is relatively unchanged from the Wii U version. But there's now Funky mode, where you can now play as Funky Kong, without unquestionably actually the greatest character in video game history. Funky mode is in kind of easier mode for players, not to the extent that it makes the game a cakewalk. It's still quite a difficult game even with Funky enabled, but he's got loads of kind of extra tricks up his sleeve. Like he could walk on those spikes. He can't walk on them, but he lands in them and doesn't do any damage, so he kind of stands still when you land on spikes, and you can just jump off them again and not do any damage. He can breathe longer underwater, which is why he's got this snorkel on, so you don't need to keep collecting air bubbles. He's got infinite kind of air. He can do a double jump, which you can kind of see there. He still needs to grab stuff, he's not that good. But yeah, so he's kind of combining the abilities of most of the characters all in one, so for that reason he can't collect Diddy or Dixie or Cranky. It's a solo affair. This Kong rides alone. That's how wild and rad and bodacious in equal measure he is. But yeah, so that means he can stand on spikes, like Cranky can when he uses his pogo stick. He can do a double jump like Dixie sort of can, even though it's not really a double jump, it kind of is. And he can float down safely like Diddy can. If you hold the jump button, he kind of gets his surfboard out and floats down to safety. So yeah, it makes it a kind of, and obviously he's got more hearts as well. You can see he's got 5 life hearts there, whereas when you're playing with Donkey Kong normally he's only got 2, and when you collect another character that goes up to 4, whereas Funky's got 5 at all times. And it makes the game a wee bit easier. You can switch between Funky and Donkey Kong whenever you want, but the game save still shows that you're in Funky mode. When you start a game in Funky mode, you can't take it off Funky mode as if you would ever want to take off something that is called Funky mode. But yeah, so when you start the game in Funky mode, bear in mind you need to start it again in non-Funky mode, Funkless mode, in order to kind of, from what I can tell at this point, it doesn't make a massive difference other than your save file has a big surfboard over it if it's Funky mode, but there may be it may be that bonus levels later can't be accessed with Funky. I don't know yet, I'm not at that point, it's too early to tell. But so far as I can tell, there's no major drawback to playing as Funky short of the save file looking different. But we'll see. I'll mess about with it a bit more and we'll find out. But other than that, it's still fun. Like a lot of easy modes in games overly simplify things to the point that you're going, oh, you're taking the fun out of it here. Like Mario, one of the Mario games on 3DS gave you like a white Tanuki suit, which basically gave him infinite flying, I believe, or some sort of invincibility or something like that, and made it too easy. There's still a challenge here. There's less of a challenge, but there's still a challenge, and especially in later stages I would imagine it's still going to be quite difficult, even though you've now got more health. It's still not the easiest game in the world, but it's fun. It's more fun than easy modes in other games because well, it's Funky Kong. Look at him, he's on a surfboard and he's wearing sunglasses. You can't really beat that. And the game's still enough of a challenge to make it, the exploration is all still there. You still need to find all these puzzle pieces and stuff, so it's not like you're strolling through it and unlocking everything 100%. There's still a level of challenge there. Speaking of the puzzle pieces, there's a shop, as in the Wii U version, where usually Funky runs the shop and he sells you power-ups and things that let you find other puzzle pieces. But when you're playing as Funky, it's Tox the parrot. Like there's another parrot called Tox, Tawks. He replaces Funky and puts on some shades and pretends to be Funky Kong, which is quite funny. So you can still get the shop, even though you can't buy everything, because the shop lets you buy Cranky and everyone for use, but not here. But yeah, there we go. I'm coming to the end. I need to wrap this up to stay within the embargo. But there you go. That is Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. There'll be a full review on TyroleHack.com at the start of May. Until then, I'm going to get cracking with it. Thanks for watching, guys. Visit TyroleHack.com for more goodness. Cheers. Bye bye.